Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Widows. So evidently this is about a bunch of wives who have recently or at some point lost their husbands who were in some criminal activities and have left these women with debt. So they start to take matters into their own hands and I guess try and get themselves out of debt using criminal activities. I don't know that for sure. But that's what I'm gathering. Viola Davis, Michelle Rodriguez, Elizabeth Debicki, Liam Neeson, which is good, John Bernthal, and that's about it. That's all I recognize right now. Oh, Robert Duvall, Colin Farrell. See, so many times on IMDb you got to keep scrolling and stars continue to pop up, or at least names I recognize. IMDb has this at a 7.3. It is 2 hours and 10 minutes, but I'm going to check it out and let you know what I think, give you a better idea what the synopsis is after I learn it, and we'll take it from there. So stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in here. We're watching Widows. We're at the 55-minute, 15-second mark. I think I have a good idea of kind of what the plot's about. You know, kind of what they said in the beginning. So these wives and girlfriends of some thieves, which were the thieves were the Liam Neeson, Bernthal, and I forget who the third one was. There's actually 4, but right now there's only 3 widows. But essentially the thieves, right in the beginning, so this isn't a spoiler, it's shown right in the beginning, they all get killed trying to rob money. Now, they had the money that they were robbing in the car that blew up with them. That money belongs to a gentleman by the name of Jamal, who is running for alderman of the South Precinct. And he was going to use that money to fund his campaign. And he's running against Colin Farrell. I'm not sure that hasn't been developed too much yet, but Jamal has been. So Jamal is looking for his money. He understands that the people who stole it from him have died, so he's going after the wives. And he has already approached Viola Davis, who plays Liam Neeson's wife, and basically says he wants the money back and you've got a month. She then finds a notebook from her husband which illustrates or has all the details of the very next job. This very next job has $5 million. So she sees this as a way to pay him off and make a little extra money, because all of the wives are kind of broke at this point. The thieves are spending it as they got it, or whatever. They just don't have any money, so they all have a need for money. So she has summoned the 2 other wives together to start talking about possibly pulling off this job. There is a 4th wife, which hasn't been seen we saw her in the beginning, so you know she exists, but she hasn't been involved so far. So I'm not sure how that'll play out. But I'm sure she'll be added to the mix at some point, I would have to think. But it's very entertaining. There was an odd scene. I want to tell you this, share this with you. So Colin Farrell, as I mentioned, is running for alderman against this Jamal character, and he's in the car with you know, the leader of his campaign, whatever, campaign manager. That's it. And they're talking, and they get in the car, but the camera stays on the hood of the car, showing the windshield as the car drives through the neighborhood. It's kind of catching a glimpse maybe of the neighborhood is what it's trying to do, and then at some point it turns. And again, it's a very odd thing that stuck out to me. It's not the 2 actors or characters talking in the back seat. It's not panning around. It's just sitting on the hood, pointing back into the thing that you can't see anything. So it stuck out to me. So if you check out this movie, see what I'm talking about there. I know, the directors and producers, they have to come up with some different things to kind of make it a little bit different, but I thought that was an interesting take on how to shoot that shot when they were talking in the car. Might have went in too deep on that, but anyway, you understand where the plot of the movie is going. Seems like it's interesting. There are another piece of opportunity, I think, is when they first meet, the widows meet to start discussing the plan. It's really haphazard. It's you go get guns, you go get a van kind of thing. It's not very well planned. So maybe that's part of the plot, and we'll see where it goes. But initially it seems like, you know what I mean? You think they would plan it out a little bit better. But we'll go on from there. I'm liking the acting. I like the plot, and we got a lot more to go. Like I said, 2 hours and 10 minutes. So I'll stop wasting your time and start watching the movie some more, and then check in if anything else interesting happens, or see you at the credits. Stick around. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Widows, and I'm really disappointed. I really wanted to like this movie, and as I'm watching more movies, researching a little bit more about films itself, essentially they have 3 acts. And the first act I thought was really good. They set up a lot of different plot lines, some that I had no idea what was going on, as I had mentioned. We have the 3 widows, we have 4 widows. One really doesn't play a role at all in this small role, I'm sorry, where they try and throw a twist at you. That's it. But the other 3, we see their backstory, why they want to get into this heist. We learn about Colin Farrell's character and how he's trying to become the head of the precinct, and against Jamal, as we know, whose money got stolen. So it's all kind of there in the background, battling over that position of winning, like the head of the precinct there. And they develop a lot of different little interesting storylines, and what they're all doing. And meanwhile, they have this heist coming up that they want to do. Oh, Robert Duvall is in it. So Robert Duvall plays Colin Farrell's father, who was previously the head of this precinct, or whatever, the South Side, and he's pushing him to make sure that he continues to have control of it. So another storyline developed there. And, you're watching this, and, there's just not a lot, as I mentioned. They talk about the planning, where she's like, go buy guns, you go buy a van, and you figure out where this building is. So they haphazardly go out and do this, and that's like a little bit of the planning. They find a new driver, who just happens to be a babysitter. It's not the 4th widow, which I thought it was going to be. She was going to get involved. It wasn't. No spoiler alert there. If she plays a different role, I won't tell you what it is. But they bring in a babysitter to become the driver. Okay. And then the heist happens. And then the movie ends. Okay? So the heist is not even 1% of this whole movie. I mean, the planning is not even 3% of this movie. So a lot of heist movies, it's all around the planning, and then the actual heist, and, maybe some twists and something like that, and then the ending. I just got done watching this, and I'm thinking to myself, what did I just do for the last hour and 30 minutes? The first 30 minutes was also on the setup and the development, the first act, whatever, of all these different plot lines and characters and things like that. All this potential going on. And then you get to the end. Now I know what happens at the end. Everything's, there's no sequel. It's the end of the movie. But for the hour and a half, they didn't do anything else. They didn't develop the characters too much, enough. And, some things they tried to tie together didn't work for me, because I wasn't emotionally invested in that piece of it, any piece of it. I wasn't emotionally invested in the heist. There was no real planning for it. The heist only took like a minute, and there wasn't that big of a thing. I'm not emotionally invested to anything that happens to the widows, because their characters weren't developed. Colin Farrell and Jamal, what happens in the political race. I know what happens, but I don't really, whatever. Nothing. There's no emotional tie, because there's no development throughout this entire film, from character to plot line. I thought, there was some good acting, maybe, in it. Viola Davis, she really plays a mean SOB, trying to run this whole heist thing, and it's more about her being rude to people and making people angry at her for the way that they treat her than it is about anything else. So if anything, what I got out of this was she's not a very good leader. That's really the moral of this story in Widows, is that Viola Davis's character, not a good leader. That's all I get. That's me. I don't know. I'm surprised it was ranked in the 7s from IMDb. because it's not there for me. And I really wanted to like this. I couldn't wait for it to come out. Here it is, and I am disappointed. So, you know, check it out if you haven't seen it already. If you have seen it, and now I'm just ranting, let me know. But I thought it was going to be, well, you know, initially it starts off with, what is it, Ocean's 8, you know, very similar plotline as Ocean's 8, but instead of the comedic kind of side of it, I saw maybe the Heat kind of side, or the Town, you know, those types of, you know, more serious, and it did have that feel. It did have that feel in the beginning, and this is going to be good. But I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know if too many plot lines for people to figure out, you know, when they're doing it, and they're like, just take it wherever, you know, they should have narrowed it down. I don't know. Very disappointed. I have no more to say about this because I don't want to ramble on and waste an hour and a half of your time, because they just wasted an hour and a half of my time. Even though the movie was 2 hours and 10 minutes. There were still 40 good minutes. Alright, that's it. 5 or 6, I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? Check it out. Leave me comments. Let me know what you think. Love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.